Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Now, I know that I completed this game a while ago, and I know that I've been live streaming trying to 100% all these different areas. But today is going to be the review, my honest review of Jedi Fallen Order. What I think of it, what I think it may have lacked, what I didn't like, and stuff like that. So, I guess the first thing we'll cover is the actual gameplay. The actual gameplay, I don't know, I like it to a certain point. I think that it's a little janky in some places, and it does need a little bit of polishing, or needed some polish. I know this game is long over its time, but there were so many instances, if you guys were watching the original series, where I would be blocking, and it just wouldn't block. I would still get hit, and I'd be watching my stamina bar, and it would still... my stamina bar would either not move or just disappear immediately, and that's just fighting stormtroopers. So it's very hit and miss if that was a gameplay issue. Well, it was a gameplay issue, but I mean, it was very hit and miss in terms of it actually working sometimes. It was very aggravating, very frustrating. But with that said, I did enjoy some of the other mechanics, like the dual lightsaber, my favorite part. I love this. Having access to other Force abilities. I know I didn't use all of them or utilize them as effectively as I could, but I still very much enjoy the different systems that it implemented. Especially ones like this. Oh, damn.
I don't need help to kill you.
This was my favorite. Doing that was my favorite. That and throwing bucket heads off of cliffs. That was also very fun. Launching Imperial Stormtroopers off of the edges and stuff like that. It was very entertaining. Well, at least for me it was. It was very fun. BB-8 definitely had a lot of unique systems like this. This was actually very cool. And the fact that we actually go back up was a cool little upgrade. Now, some people are probably thinking, it's a small thing, why talk about that? Oh, shit! Oh. People thinking, why talk about that? It's because it's a cool little thing. It's a fun little thing. You can zip around on BB-8 or not BB-8, BD. I said BB-8 twice. You can zip around on him for hours because it's entertaining. Oh, there's that damn droid there. I don't want to deal with that. You know, fuck it. Let's make the review gameplay interesting. That bounty hunters, since we're here, was actually my next topic. They are a unique challenge. They are definitely a unique challenge for sure.
Get back here!
Woo! Haha.
Time to die!
Oh, okay, fair enough. They were a very unique challenge, something I've not seen in our Star Wars
So
games.
much for you!
And I definitely feel like they added a unique bit of depth, because there was a huge price on Jedi's
I'm
heads.
off the floor with you!
Like, if you think about it, the Separatists during the Clone Wars offered 1 million credits a head for a Jedi. So for
Oh, come on!
the Empire, imagine how much they were charging. I would think at least that much, if not double it. Because the Jedi, if you look at it,
Fine.
we're actually the cause of the problem. We'll get to the gameplay, or not the gameplay, the story.
Heads up!
We'll cover the story in a minute.
For a Jedi now?
Yes. Ow. Fuck you. Ow.
Dorstin!
Just a couple more hits.
You're right.
You are tough.
Yeah, you're right, I'm not. Yep.
Time to collect.
The bounty hunters are definitely a very interesting thing. Not knowing, like, if you're just going down, you know, Kashyyyk, like I had happened to me on one of the episodes of the actual series, and then just getting whacked by freaking 2 bounty hunters. I almost killed the one, but it was very challenging. I think I might try and do the bounty hunters, like complete the bounty hunters. Well, I'm not totally sure, but they are definitely a unique aspect of the game. Now, as anybody who's been around my channel for a while knows, I focus on, whenever I'm playing these games, the actual story rather than much else. And by that I mean, oh, shit. I'm always
Hostile, get ready.
shit.
He's hard to track. Don't like our chances here.
I always played the main story more than any side stuff.
Someone get a shot.
I always play the story more than anything else because, to me, the story is the most intriguing and interesting part of these games. Because it's helping expand the lore quite a bit. And I feel like Jedi Fallen Order did a pretty... Whoa. Oh, damn, there I go. Did a pretty decent job of that. Like, it definitely helped bring to light a bit more of the flaws of the Jedi through the Night Sister. Because she did point out a lot of things that I've always wondered about the Jedi myself. She brought up how it's unusual for peacekeepers, or supposed peacekeepers, to bond over the creation of weapons. Seems a little counterintuitive. You're supposed to be a peacekeeper.
I've heard Jedi can kill you with a thought.
You're supposed to be a peacekeeper and a guardian, but yet you bond over the destruction of weapons, or deconstruction of weapons, that take lives.
No one's ever escaped.
So, that actually did make a lot of sense to me, that she brought that up. As well with the fact that they were acting their own self-interest when it came to the hologram.
Down face to face. On task.
Come here.
Keep this up.
Alright, can you go away, please? Thank you. And when you get to the holocron, and you start looking for the, ooh, nope, not going to die. And you kind of get the task to look for the younglings. Well, not the task, but they mention it. The Night Sister also had another good point on the fact that who were they to decide if the children need to be saved. You had the holocron, you had that list, and the Empire didn't. The children were essentially safe, so why take them from their homes where they're safe to force them into a fight that they don't even want to be a part of, that they don't even know what's going on? Who were the Jedi to decide that was to be their fate? To be hunted and potentially killed by Inquisitors, or taken by Inquisitors to become Inquisitors themselves. The Jedi acted very much in their own self-interest, and that's something we see even throughout the Clone Wars as well. How much danger the children were in, even during the Clone Wars, when Cad Bane impersonates a Jedi, and whoop! Oh, there's something down there. Where Cad Bane impersonates a Jedi and kidnaps a youngling. So that's something that is very much backed up with the canon of the TV show as well. I do admit I like the character growth. I like that we did see Kale and them actually kind of progress as characters and progress as individuals in the overarching story. That was actually very well done. Now, I could go on and on about Jedi Fallen Order, but there is so much to the story, there's so much to the gameplay mechanics, and I have so many... Okay, get off the fucking thing. I do have a lot more gripes and gropes with it, things I'm not happy with. Like, one of the things is that it doesn't do a good job early on of really showing you that, hey, these are your limits. Because there was a point, like early on in this series, like the first part or two, where I was struggling to try and get into somewhere that I had no idea I wasn't supposed to access until way later in the game. That wasn't made very clear to me. I spent like 20 minutes trying to get into that place, into that particular area, when I wasn't even meant to access it yet. So I feel like that's something EA could have done better of emphasizing, like saying, hey, you don't have the necessary skills, you know, to get to this area yet, come back later. Because I genuinely spent 20 minutes trying to get into this one place and I couldn't, and it frustrated me because I felt like there was a bug in the game. It's like, well, why can't I do this? But after I'd say about part 5 or 6, when I started unlocking more abilities, that I realized, oh, I can't get in there yet because I don't have the appropriate powers. It made sense 5 parts into the freaking series, which then kind of annoyed me even more because it's like, well, I had no idea because this was not properly displayed or not displayed, explained. So that honestly was a little aggravating for me personally. There's a few other things that were a little annoying. None that are like, you know, game breaking bad. Okay, well, now we're talking about game breaks. Some of the bugs in this game, honestly, were not what should have been considered acceptable for a full release game. And the fact that I've heard things from other YouTubers who play these games, who've played Jedi Survivor, who've seen bugs from the first game over there, and EA kind of voiding responsibility, saying, oh, it's just your systems aren't strong enough, when it's common bugs we see in games all the time, so like glitches, map phasing and stuff like that. Kinda isn't fair to brush responsibility off on the content creators or YouTubers when, you know, you're supposed to be the ones making the game and fixing the game. And the fact that some bugs are even worse. So I don't know, that's kind of just my little rushed review. I've been meaning to do this video for a while talking about the game, so I just figured I'd just kind of cover my biggest things and give a final rating. And you guys can take my opinion for a grain of salt. If you guys absolutely love the game, think it's flawless, then hey, you know what, that's your opinion. I think this game was definitely heavily flawed, but for what it is, it's a cool game. Like the customization alone is pretty cool. I love the fact that you customize the lightsaber. I love that you customize the mantis, even though there's really no point to it. It's just cool to look at. So yeah, take my opinion for a grain of salt. So overall, gameplay mechanics and gameplay wise, it was fun. Some of the puzzles were a little frustrating because it wasn't overly obvious what you're supposed to do. Some of the bosses, especially the Malicos boss, I don't know if you guys struggle with Malicos as much as I did, but I was stuck on that boss for a week. Mostly because of work and stuff like that. It probably been less time because of work and other series on the channel. I couldn't dedicate a lot of time to it. I was averaging like 3 hours a day on it, trying to beat it, but it was just so fucking frustrating. And there was times, as I've said, where my blocks and abilities just wouldn't work. And that's something I'd even heard other people complain about as well. So gameplay wise, I'm gonna give it a roughly 6.5. If it was more polished before release or even after release and a lot of the bugs were fixed, I would say it was damn near perfect. I would give it an 8 if the bugs were fixed. Maybe an 8.5 at most. If, again, like I said, the bugs were fixed. But overall, because of the bugs that really hampered my enjoyment, I have to give it a 6.5. That's as much as I can give it. For being such a big budget game, it had a lot of low budget issues that shouldn't have been in it. So 6.5 is all I got. All I can give it. Story. Now the story, that is a different story. So we got Greers, we got Cal. I had to go back and check these guys' names since I totally forget them. It's all gonna tell me. Basically, all the characters between the Inquisitors, and not just the main one, but the other Inquisitor we faced as well. All the characters felt extremely unique, very well done. I will say though, I feel like her eyes, this chick's eyes here, were a little too anime. There's times where I was looking at her eyes, I'm trying to keep a straight face, and her eyes look like they're gonna pop out of her head. It was fucking hilarious, I'm not gonna lie. So, yeah. But on all the characters, they all felt extremely well done. They were very well executed in terms of literal character, personality, wants, desires, hates, stuff like that. All extremely well done. I loved her story, especially hers. The Dathomir sisters. She's my favorite character, I'm not gonna lie. She's fucking cool. And she brought a lot of good points. But story, in terms of kind of portraying the Jedi as the victims when they really did initiate the issues. I mean, again, that's canon. That's supposed to be how it is. But it did a lot to really make the Jedi seem like the victims. It didn't really diversify the story too much. I mean, it did show the Master there betraying her Padawan and betraying them. I covered that twice, but it betrayed Padawan and she betrayed the others. She sold herself out, and technically she kind of crossed to the dark side with how she acted. So you could argue that she's a middle Jedi in a way, but I do feel like she's kind of more on the dark side than actual light or neutral, just because of some of the things she did. But overall, it did good to kind of show how the Jedi who weren't aware of what happened to Coruscant reacted to Order 66. I gotta give this a pretty solid 8.5. It's not the best Star Wars story I've ever played. I do feel like that the story for Battlefront 2 that I covered on the channel here a little while ago was far better. But this one is okay, an 8.5. It's still pretty good. It wasn't a terrible story. It was actually a really fun story. I really enjoyed it. And like I said, guys, take my opinion for a grain of salt. If you guys thought it was a perfect story and a perfect flawless game, or if you guys thought it was a shitty story and a shitty game, then that is perfectly just your opinions. Just keep in mind, don't try to force your opinion on others. Everybody has a right to their own opinion. Everybody has a right to express their opinion in a respectful, mature way. I think this game was flawed. It had a very good story. And yeah, that's basically my 2 cents worth on Jedi Fallen Order, guys. Let me know what you guys thought of it in the comments. I'm very curious as to what you guys thought of this story and the game itself. I've been considering just watching Jedi Survivor. I don't have a PS5. I'm not gonna have one for a very long time, and it's hard not to see spoilers on it. So feel free to talk about it in the comments. I don't personally care because PS5s are still fucking hard to get in Canada, or at least in the part of Canada I live in. So yeah, feel free to let me know what you guys like about it, what you guys liked about Jedi Fallen Order, and I'll catch you on the next one.